JJ's cryptic corner where the coins keep turning. Logging out, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow. Crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic corner. JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, hey, what's going on, guys? Bitcoin currently trading at $89,184.91. What's going on, Tom Selleck's GOAT? Guys, smash the like button on your way in. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Bitcoin dominance rejecting 59.9. However, we did get a nice little bounce off, or at least an attempted bounce so far, off of 59.5. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. Okay. Let's see. Gold and, I almost said copper. Gold and silver making new records today, as they've been doing daily. 89,515. 89,515. And then on top of that, we've got, I'm going to go up here, 95.33. And then the lower chunk, we've got, I'm going to do a couple for down here, 88.429. And then I'll do the bottom, 85.918. And then I want to do the middle, kind of where that chunk ends, probably like right here, 86,732. All right, I like that. So Bitcoin seemingly, I'm not going to say rejecting quite yet, but it does look like it's struggling to get back above 89.5. We're at 89,182. We got a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI yesterday, and we are still holding above that moving average. We did just cross above 50 as well, which is good. Green dot on the momentum wave pointed to the upside. Money flow is still negative, but we did climb out of what I'm going to call the trench as of right now. 86.5 seems to be that support zone. Okay. ETH down 0.57% on the day, currently trading at $3,009.61. Looks like we're rejecting 3,040, which isn't too important of a number, so I could see us bouncing and continuing at least to 3,100. We do look like we held 2,800 very nicely. We got back above our purple trend line here and the yellow ascending trend line. Let's see. We do have bullish divergence right here, which is exciting. We got lower price, higher RSI. So there's bullish div there. Green dot and momentum wave still in play. Money flow is negative, so keep an eye on that. Bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI is still in play as well. And higher volume, which is awesome. So we'll see how high we can go here with ETH. I would like to at least see us climb up to 3,200 if we are going to reject and continue lower. Maybe 31 based on this price action right here. But we'll see. Obviously, climbing up out of this is going to be better than breaking down and going lower. Tomorrow's an important day. We do have the Fed rate decision. I actually have a poll for you guys regarding that. Let's see. Let's get a poll going in the chat. What is the Fed's decision tomorrow? Are you guys trading? Dovish pivot. Hawkish. Pause. Let's see. Add. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Dovish pivot. Hawkish pause. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could direct your attention to the poll in the chat. What is the Fed's decision tomorrow? Rate hike, pause, or cut? Solana currently trading at 127.17. Similar to Bitcoin and ETH, we got a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI on Monday, and we are still trading above that, which is awesome. Again, slowly climbing out of that trench. We are looking to potentially break back above our neckline here, which would be awesome. 127.13, 128 is probably that breaking point. We'll see what happens if we end up getting to that point. We do have green dot of the momentum wave still in play from Monday. Money flow is negative, but everything else is pointing to upside. So we'll see if we break above that resistance level and continue climbing. Total 3 is down 0.19% on the day, currently trading at 844.75 billion. 845 is a interim point of confluence based on current price action. What's nice about this is we've talked about a bunch of times the pattern, the repeating pattern that we've seen. We get a downtrend, and then we get a sideways choppy breakout, and that sideways choppy breakout eventually results in an uptrend. Now that uptrend can start any moment now, or it can wait until like mid to late February, early March, based on a couple of fractals that we've pulled. Regardless, the fact that we're holding above 800 is awesome. We technically put in a higher low here. So if we do continue to the upside from here, that will be bullish. With that, interestingly enough, I do believe that we have bullish div here, which is pretty good. So we could see a decent sized push on the price. That bullish div does signal longer term uptrend in the price and longer term downtrend in the RSI, which is huge because that gives us a ton of runway. We got a green dot on the momentum wave still in play. Money flow is negative, but I'm not sure if that applies to the total market cap. So I'm just mentioning it out loud. We'll see if we can get back above 845. And if we do, I would not be surprised to see us trade in between 845 and 857 before breaking to the upside. Give us a little bit of a breather. Let the RSI cool off. ADA is down 1.08% on the day, seemingly rejecting 36 cents. We are at 35.72. Also climbing out of the trench, bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI on Monday. We had a green dot, which turned red and then just flipped green. Still in play. We also just crossed bullish. Negative money flow, but positive RSI. Are we coming down for a retest, or are we going to break and continue to the downside for that moving average? Outside of that, volume could be better. This is specific to KuCoin, though. I would like to get above 36 and at least try to break back above 38. And this goes to show that total 3, what we talked about with that downtrend, the choppy sideways breakout, and then hopefully eventual uptrend. Tom Scott said gold has had 0 pullbacks for so long now. Yeah, gold has been actually, I don't even want to say the word frightening. It's just been impressive. I was not expecting it to continue after the market closed today. I was not expecting it to continue up. I was looking for probably just like a sideways, choppy, boring, flatline scenario. But gold and silver are both just still chugging along. It's actually insane. I did close my silver short. I don't even know. I only made like 3 or 4%, but still. That's better than losing. I got cold feet. It started looking a little too bullish for me, so I had to close it during during trading hours. and Robinhood, for whatever reason, holds on to your money for 24 hours still, which is kind of silly, but it is what it is. Makes you less inclined to try to flip trades like that, which I'm not a fan of doing on Robinhood, because creating a taxable event for every single trade is crazy. Let's see. Talked about Bitcoin. We went through ADA. SNEC is down 2.15% on the day, currently trading at 0.0007. We did climb out of the sixes, which is awesome. If we can hold this level and continue the upside and get back above 7772, that would be ideal, but we'll keep an eye on it. The community does seem like they're in good spirits. Again, we got a confirmed green dot back here, which is huge. I believe XRP has the same thing. We'll have to look at that when we get there. But we got a green dot in the momentum wave, point to the upside, about to cross bullish. Bullish cross over the moving average on Monday, which is also still in play, seemingly rejecting 50 on the R side. So we'll see if we can break above that. But so far, so good. Midnight down 3.22%, struggling to get above 6 cents. Let's see, we got rejection, attempt number 1, attempt number 2, both lost. We'll see if we continue down from here. We are getting a bearish cross over the moving average and the RSI, but this is somewhat of a rising consolidation, it seems. Are we eventually going to get a pop to the upside or downside? Probably, but we'll see what happens. Volume could be better. This is specific to OKX. We are kind of in an accumulation range between 5.4 and 6.4, so we'll see which direction this breaks as well. Very tradable though, for sure, if you got your finger on the pulse. XRP is down 0.88% on the day, currently trading at 189.89. Very much consolidating in between 184 and 196, kind of at a midpoint right here. Are we going to use that midpoint as support? It's definitely a point of confluence based on the price action right here. You got plenty of support, attempted support. I don't know. It's definitely 189, 190 is relevant for sure. Volume could be a little bit better. RSI potentially about to cross bearish over that moving average or bounce, which would be the best case scenario. But you got a couple of wicks, nothing too crazy though, not really worth pointing out. Green dot on the momentum wave, point to the upside, negative money flow. Very sideways. I'm sure the market's just going to be quiet until the Fed meeting tomorrow, which should be volatile. Mr. Roberts said dovish pause needs to be on the survey. Hey, JJ. I think I was going to put that on there. Should I end it? We only got one vote. I'm just going to end it. What's the Fed's decision tomorrow? Hike, hawkish pause, cut. Let's see. What's the Fed's decision tomorrow? Hike. All right, let's add both options. Dovish pause, hawkish pause, and cut. All right, there you go, Mr. Roberts. All right. Happy Tuesday, my friend. Gosh, is it really only Tuesday? That sucks so bad. I feel like it's been a long week already. Maybe I just didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Okay. We talked about XRP, H-bar. I'm not really going to get into the nitty-gritty charts. We'll go over AVAX and Chainlink because I feel like they're relevant. Avalanche got a nice bounce off of 1129 and it's trying to climb back up. What would be cool is if we recoupled with the fractal and then got our pop early February based on the fractal, just because I enjoy I enjoy when I'm right about fractals for no reason other than the fact that I enjoy being right about fractals. We do have a green dot, red dot, green dot. Green dot's still in play on the momentum wave on Market Cipher. Money flow is negative, but we got a bullish cross over the moving average yesterday on the RSI. Support, bounce, continuation. We're above 50, which is good. Are we going to continue to the upside? If I had to guess, I would say yes, but again, with the Fed meeting tomorrow, rate decision, probably going to be quiet. Chainlink currently down 0.33% on the day, currently trading at $11.99. Very, very flat price action here. We got a bounce off of 1150, and we're struggling to get above 12. 12 is going to be psychological level, nothing more. If we do get above that, then I suppose we can make a test of 1239 and see if we can get above that. Volume actually looks a little bit impressive on those two candles. The current candle could be a little bit better, but it did just open. Bullish cross over the moving average, just like everything else. And struggling to get above 50. Green dot of the momentum wave from Monday still in play. Gold up 0.9% on the day, currently trading at $5,227.33. I, again, have no words. My big boy, like, over-the-top target for gold is $5,800. And I measured that all the way back in October. And so far, it's proving to be a very, very good guess. We do have 1 million red dots on market cipher. Those so far have meant nothing. Our moving average is literally, the moving average is overbought on gold, along with the RSI. So I don't think that there's such a thing as overbought. Gold is just apparently worth $5,227 an ounce. Silver, also in the same ballpark, up 1.75% on the day, currently trading at 114.09. I'm very, very happy with this as well. Saeed did call for this pullback. He said 115 was going to hit, and then we were going to pull back. 115 hit. We got a pullback. So congrats, Saeed. Absolutely killed it on that call. Cheers. Are we going to break above 115 here and continue to the upside? That is the ultimate question. I would not be surprised. There's big banks changing their price estimates to $150 now, because their original estimate was 100, and obviously that price came and went like in a heartbeat. So my big question here is this bearish div, because we do have bearish div here, is that going to play out at all? And if it does, how long is it going to take to play out? Because we've seen the bearish div play out a couple of times already. It doesn't really do much though. Like, we get a little baby pullback, which is probably a good time to enter if you're a trader, not financial advice. But other than that, the pullbacks don't mean much, and they don't last long at all. So very, very few and far between. We are waiting for February 2nd for the next ISM manufacturing PMI print, which is what a lot of people use to measure the business cycle. So if that is above 50 or even 55, then we will enter expansion, and that will be good for assets. Not that assets are struggling right now. I guess it'll be good for cryptocurrency specifically. DXY broke below. This is the huge headline of the day that I'm excited to talk about. Not a lot of people are talking about this for some reason. The DXY has had this trend line, and we showed you guys yesterday. This trend line is 15 years old, from April 2011. That's actually crazy. This is gonna blow my mind. Is this April 18th? This is on the weekly. Okay, April 25th. Okay, that feels a little bit better. So that's like mine and my daughter's birthday. Very, very close. And yeah, we've never broken, we have not broken below this since 2011. It's been 15 years since this trend line has been established. And we have officially, like, exploded to the downside, broke below that. Mr. Roberts said, JJ, the RR chart, Rich Tech Robotics, that I mentioned a while back, took off today. I saw that, actually, Mr. Roberts. I tagged you in the Discord to talk about it. I knew it was you. I believe Giovanni has some as well, because he mentioned that he was talking about it too. Let me finish talking about the DXY really quick. It's a big deal that we broke below this. Donald Trump was quoted today talking about how the dollar's at a good valuation. And I mean, if you look at the 15-year trend, he's technically not wrong. And I think there's a post from the Kobayashi letter specifying that that basically signals to us that Trump is okay with the dollar falling. And there's another post that talks about how the dollar falling technically is not a bad thing in most cases. And they go over all of that situation. So we'll go over that when we get to the news segment. But let's check Rich Tech Robotics really quick. They partnered or something with Microsoft. We had this beautiful, we had a big boy wedge right here, and then a longer term wedge right here that we kind of did a little fake out above, both of which technically the big boy one broke out, and then the longer term one just like broke today, with that candle. Let me see, 4 hour. That is a 34% positive candle. Huge move for Rich Tech Robotics. Beautiful volume. Obviously, it's news-based entirely, which is huge. Big deal. Them working with Microsoft. I forget the deal specifically. Let me see if I have it in the news segment when we get to that. Actually, I put it in the Discord. Hang on, I can just pull it up from the Discord. A lot of stuff in the Discord today. Hang on, I went a little too far back. Rich Tech Robotics. We've got. Maybe I lied. Okay. I'm really focusing on reading. RR is mine. Okay. Yeah, right here. Oh, I didn't put the post in here. Rich Tech Robotics, 34% God Candle collab with Microsoft. We'll have to try to find that on X specifically then. But yeah, that's sick. So, if you guys are not part of the Discord, I highly recommend joining. The stock channel in the Discord is a great place. A lot of good picks there. But yeah, Rich Tech Robotics, nice push. Still not up to par with this previous high, but it's got a fighting chance now. Let's hope that it doesn't do one of these. I don't see it doing that, honestly. I feel like Microsoft is a big deal. So all of these kind of ran out of fuel. I don't think that that's going to happen this time around. I think you got an actual like good established foundation, and the fundamentals are there. The news is there. Partnerships there. Look at the volume. Has literally never been that high. Except for right here on this dump. But to pretty much almost eat that. Yeah, just barely higher. I don't know. It's cool to see. So congratulations, Mr. Roberts. I just like organically saw that on X. I was like, oh shoot, I know them. So that was pretty cool. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, is currently up 0.62% on the day, trading at 161.62. They just trading sideways. It doesn't really look like they're up at all. Kind of a tweezer bottom potential on those candles, but we'll see. If you guys don't know, I call it Big B Coffee because somebody decided that the logo should be a burnt orange Big B Coffee color, and it's the Bitcoin B for some reason. But I want to see if they can get above 167. I'm gonna mention it every single day until they're in the green. But we know that Vanguard, for the first time ever, bought some strategy back here at this gap, actually. So they saw a value proposition and they made a purchase. I'm hoping that they're going to climb out of this. If they don't, like soon, I guess that they're probably going to retest 130 and then bounce. But you know, an entity like Vanguard can afford to wait for a bounce at 130. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if I don't think market cipher really applies, but your RSI on the 4 hour at least is sitting right below 50, kind of consolidating. So it seems like there's a lot of potential here for a break. Which direction is it going to break? I have no idea. But it definitely seems like it's consolidated for sure. NASDAQ, I think these are record highs, 26.82 and 30 cents. Look at this. We had a fractal here, and the fractal started to decouple a little bit, so I did a hand-drawn one. And so far, if we start to pull back a little bit, then that hand-drawn one is probably going to play out beautifully. I'm going to get rid of these. That was with the Greenland thing that came and went a lot faster than we anticipated. But, I mean, we're overbought on the 4 hour. And I suppose every time that's happened, we did get a little bit of a pullback, but we could do one of these where we just go up a little bit further. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. It looks good. 26,000. S&P 500 also closed at record highs today, 69.78 and 59 cents. And this fractal is also playing out very nicely. If we recouple to the AS Fractal 3.0, that would feel good. But we'll see what happens. We're looking for, I suppose, 7K. before, or I guess it would be more than, way more than, we're at 7K right now. Looking for like 72.50. I'm going to call it 72.50 before the end of March. Mohar Production said, you got some dope fractals, bruh. I am the fractal farquad. All right. Bitcoin dominance 59.6. Getting a bounce off of 59.5. And Bitcoin itself, very quiet. Let's get into some news. This just cracked me up. If you guys don't follow this guy, I highly recommend. We're gonna watch it because it's good for a laugh.
Gold and silver are both up 200% on the year? Are you kidding me? What's Bitcoin at? Oh my God, Bitcoin's down 17%? I thought it was a digital gold. Why isn't it pumping right now? Oh my God, why did I buy it at $120,000 instead of gold? I thought it was gonna go to $1 million. Now I lost my entire net worth thanks to this bullshit. I'm never gonna be rich!
Face, dude. Face is crazy. Yeah, if you guys don't follow Clemente on X, go give him a follow. Chile Army 123. Highly recommend. Good for a life for sure. That guy's hilarious. He does a lot of stuff with Nick. What's his name? Choose Rich Nick. Love that dude as well. He's hilarious. Okay, Crypto Fergani. We got a nice long post from him. I'm buying. The bottom is in. Bitcoin 87K, ETH 2900, Sol 124. I wish this was my feed, dude. You gotta curate your feed if that's not in your feed. I honestly though, the X feed has been pretty trash. I have to seek these things out sometimes. I don't know what they're doing over at Twitter, but they're fumbling the bag pretty hard. Bookmark this. I just got off the craziest call of my life. I can't share names or locations for obvious reasons, but let's just say the people I spoke to move markets. The short version, a massive, possibly multi-trillion-dollar liquidity injection is coming within 30 days. Central banks, sovereign funds, tech giants, everyone is coordinated. I love that I'm reading this like this. Watch it actually happen, and then I'm going to look like an idiot. It's not quantitative easing. It's something new. AI-driven, data-triggered liquidity release designed to flood digital assets first. This is the reset moment. When they hit execute, Bitcoin won't walk up. It'll teleport. Write this down. 30 days, 1000% move. Call me crazy. Thank me later. You gotta love a good, like, blindly permeable delusional post. I gotta respect it though. Nothing but respect. Trueflation posted, coincidentally, the day before my copper bar arrives from eBay, which is very exciting. Highly recommend you guys get some copper, not financial advice. A major copper supply crunch is looming, and it is structural, not cyclical. Recent analysis from S&P Global's Copper in the Age of AI projects global demand rising from around 28 million tons in 2025 to 42 million tons by 2040, driven by economic demand and energy transition and additional renewable EVs, grid expansion, AI and data centers, and defense. Add to that constrained supply, and the shortfall is estimated to reach 10 million tons per year by 2040, even with secondary supply from recycled copper. This creates serious risks for the energy transition, tech growth, and the wider economy, making copper a crucial strategic resource. With copper supply limited, innovation and substitution with aluminum and other components might be key. The U.S. seems safe for now with large reserves and resources, but China controls a significant share of the copper processing industry. What do you think this means for other commodities and overall inflation and growth? That means I'm going to probably buy some more copper because it's cheap, and I like cheap. Pickle Rick said, bro, I don't know what's happening. I'm just buying and sitting still. Exactly. That's the way to do it, man. Mohar said, Pickle Rick smort. Tom Solix goat, buy FCX for copper. They basically own it all. Very nice. Saeed said, hi, sir. What's going on, Saeed? Happy Tuesday, my friend. Cheers. Gordon, we got another guy making a phone call. We got another Bogandov. I spoke with my sources in Washington. They said pay attention to announcements from the White House over the next 48 hours. Something huge for the crypto world is coming. So we'll see if that happens. That'd be pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. That would be pretty sick. But we also got Fed decision tomorrow on rates, which is probably gonna be a pause. Let's be real. You never know though. We'll see what happens. Pickerick said, "What is copper? Can't find anything." What do you mean? Oh, the price? It's like $5 a pound or a ton or something. It's like really cheap. Copper's like stupid cheap. Marty Party posted EU printing like crazy. Number go up. Just in, European Union and India officially announced free trade agreement. Very cool. Pickerick said, just want to buy straight up copper. Yeah, I would just buy a copper bar or some copper bullion. You could just go to Home Depot and buy like copper pipes. Or if you live anywhere like in the city, you could probably get a crackhead to like strip some copper for you. Not financial advice. Okay. Treasury Secretary Bessent says a non-inflationary economic boom will begin this year. This guy's very well respected in like the finance world. I hope he's not just like a Trumper thumper, because I want a non-inflationary economic boom this year. I think that would be sick. But I also want to buy a home. So can we get like a little bit of help for people to buy damn houses? $2 trillion Morgan Stanley hires head of digital assets strategy. Very cool. Steak and Shake buys $5 million worth of Bitcoin for its strategic Bitcoin reserve. Honest to God, Steak and Shake might be like the most pro Bitcoin company in America. It's pretty sick. Tom Stokes said, Fintwit bull posting is the worst. I don't know what that is. Mr. Roberts said, Jeebus. Yes, Tom Stokes FCX has had a Santa rally like crazy. Wow. $100 million worth of crypto shorts liquidated in the past 15 minutes. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. Gold reaches $5,150 for the first time in history. What's it at right now? $5,243. Oh, that came and went very, very fast. This one was my favorite. President Trump says the US dollar is doing great. Literally, like as he said that, it fell more. And I think it's because they knew. As soon as he said that, they were like, oh shit. They dumped it even more because they're like, well, he thinks it's doing really good, which means it's going to go down more. Because he's like, oh, the dollar's in great shape. We can afford to like lose some dollar value, right? Which he's not wrong. He's not wrong. They're going to print anyways. Why not just do it to our face? You know what I mean? S&P 500 closes at new all-time high of 69.78. Very cool. President Trump says U.S. must use tariffs to achieve world peace. Whenever I used to get in a fight in school, the teacher used to always threaten us with tariffs, and we'd stop fighting. And then we eventually started threatening each other with tariffs. Instead of fighting, we would just tariff each other. And eventually there was just no more fighting. And there was a whole economy of tariffs. It was pretty cool. Some parents were not happy, but make sure your kids aren't assholes. TNT Media said, wow. What a green candle. Silver. Yeah, dude, silver's a monster. So is gold. Gold and silver, it's just nonstop, dude. Jesus had a fantastic birthday this year. If you know, you know. Mohar Production said there are like 3 black swans at once. That's just my own personal opinion. Crypto will go back up, but I have no timeline. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, bros and ladies. What are the black swans? Like there's going to be, or there have been? Tom Selk-Scott said, yeah, I've been buying for a bit now. Gold and silver, yep. TNT Media. Mr. Roberts said, nice goats. I am not on that train, but I wish I was. Well done, brother. I mean, Rich Tech Robotics, 34% candle today. That's pretty crazy. So I feel like everyone has their own winners and losers. President Trump says, I've made a lot of people rich. Not me. President Trump says interest rates will come down after Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is replaced. Wow. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. Tomorrow's definitely going to be interesting. US dollar reaches lowest level in 4 years. Yeah, losing this trend line on the DXY is such a big deal. This has been a 15-year trend line. We've held this trend line since 2011. Pickerick said, what's the symbol for copper and gold? I cannot find this crap. Copper, I forget what copper is. XCU. And gold, you can just search gold. Gold US ounce, TVC. Are you on TradingView? TradingView is pretty intuitive. Tom Self-Scout said, FinTwit, financial Twitter. Don't, that's a gross, that one's gross. Tom Self-Scout. How dare you? I'm not a fan. What's the other one? Oh, CT. People say CT for crypto Twitter. It cringes me. I don't like it. FinTwit is less cringe than CT. People are like, oh man. CT, like just talking about it in passing, I'm like, what do you, just say the thing. Why do you have to say it? Why does it have to be different? It's the same website. There's no different Twitter for crypto. Stop calling it something else. You don't have to be original. It's okay to like be in the same space as other people who don't do crypto stuff. Cash Oak said USDT dominance is slowly losing 200 moving average. If it dumps after Fed meeting, I think alts will pump. What scares me about that is allegedly the market cap was decreasing for maybe not Tether in general, but for stable coins, which means people are actually like exiting the market entirely. That happened very briefly recently, and that spooked me a little bit. That's the first time I've been spooked. US dollar reaches lowest level in 4 years. China continues to stockpile gold behind the scenes. China acquired 10 tons of gold in November, 11 times more than officially reported by central bank, according to Goldman Sachs estimates. Similarly, in September, estimated purchases reached 15 tons, or 10 times more than officially reported. Furthermore, China officially bought an additional 0.9 tons in December, pushing the total gold reserves to a record 2,306 tons. This also marked the 14th consecutive monthly purchase. In 2025, China's total reported gold purchases reached 27 tons. Assuming official purchases were 10% of what China is actually buying, this suggests China acquired 270 tons of physical gold in 2025. China is stockpiling gold like we are in a major crisis. Bahar said, let's actually talk some crypto and stocks tomorrow on the Dongcast. Then fun stories after, of course. I mean, let's not make any plans. I feel like when we plan stuff, people show up and then they start talking, and then it gets really boring and sleepy. Okay, this is absolutely insane. So this was yesterday, which was pretty sick. It was pretty cool to witness this play out yesterday. This pump and dump on silver. People were tweaking about it. It was pretty entertaining. John said, JJ, blessings. I had 2 nice snake-like bowl movements today. Bowel movements? No bum doctor for me. Smash the like. Hell yeah, John. We like to hear that. Guys, make sure you take care of your bowel movements because ass cancer is a real thing. And that would suck. Okay. TNT said Bloomberg just in. Tether now holds over. Yes, Tether. I think they're the largest institutional gold holder or something like that. That is in the news segment as well. Yesterday, silver swung by nearly $2 trillion of market cap in 14 hours. Between 9 a.m. Eastern Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time, silver added $500 billion of market cap. Then between 1 p.m. Eastern Time and 4:30 p.m., silver lost $950 billion. Then between 4:30 and 10:30, silver added back $500 billion of market cap. Silver is quite literally throwing around Bitcoin's entire market cap in a matter of hours. The current situation in silver will be referenced for decades to come. That is freaking insane. Details of the historic trade deal between India and the European Union emerged.
$5 I don't have, but damn it, you deserve it just for the selfies alone. Love you, homie.
I appreciate you, Mr. Zachary. Thank you very much for the super chat. 1. Eliminate tariffs on 90% of goods trade between Europe and India. 2. Set to double EU goods exports to India by 2032. 3. Tariffs on cars from EU to India cut from 110% to 10%. 110% is actually crazy. Tariffs on wines from EU to India cut from 150% to 20 to 30%. Tariffs on jewelry and textiles from India to EU cut to 0%. Tariffs on furniture, chemicals, leather, and metals from India to EU cut to 0%. This deal took nearly 20 years. What? 20 years to reach and is being called the mother of all deals. India and the EU are looking to diversify away from the US. Interesting. Very interesting. Mr. Robert said, a nice dude. JJ has created a real community here. I mean, I feel like I got lucky and I started kind of with a community behind me already, so I appreciate you guys. I really do. Kobe SE letter. Asset managers are extremely bullish. Net VIX futures positioning among asset managers is down to 1 billion, the lowest in at least 10 years. Short volatility bets have now surpassed the August 2024 peak before the volatility index exploded 280% to 65 points, the highest since the 2020 pandemic. At the same time, hedge fund VIX futures positioning is down to 42.7 million, the lowest since August 2024 and the second lowest on record. Positioning shifted from neutral to net short over the last several weeks, marking a sharp reversal in the sentiment. Meanwhile, U.S. hedge fund gross leverage, which tracks total long and short exposure, rose to a record 223%, marking the third consecutive weekly increase. Are we due for a surge in volatility? Perhaps we are. Let's go check really quick. Silver, 115 and 27 cents. Gold, just record high every minute, up 1.19%. Jeez, that's so crazy. That is insane. Bitcoin was doing okay earlier. I mean, it's not doing bad right now, just compared to gold and silver, Bitcoin's kind of boring, which is crazy considering the year that it had in 2025. Software stocks are a mass exodus. Software stocks as percentage of total U.S. hedge fund net exposure is down to 4.5%, the lowest on record. This percentage has declined 12 points since mid-2023 peak. Over the same period, semiconductor and semiconductor equipment stock net exposure has surged 7 percentage points to a record 8%. Furthermore, cumulative net buying of semiconductor stocks by hedge funds is up to 35% of the total industry January 2025 market value. At the same time, cumulative net selling of software stocks fell to 8%. Hedge funds are ditching software for chip stocks at record pace. Interesting. I mean, it makes sense. You can't necessarily utilize the software without the chips. So there is like a rotation that seems to happen through hardware. Japanese investors are a crucial part of U.S. markets. Japanese holdings of U.S. bonds and stocks totaled $2.22 trillion at the end of 2024, according to Bank of Japan data. This is followed by investments in the Cayman Islands, that's interesting, France and the UK at $834 billion, $179 billion, and $150 billion, respectively. In other words, Japan exposure to the U.S. is twice as large as their combined positions in these three countries. Furthermore, total foreign assets owned by Japanese investors rose to $4.95 trillion in Q3 2025, near an all-time high. This comes as they held $2.54 trillion in equity and investment fund shares and $2.41 trillion in debt. What happens if these investors start bringing money back home? Interesting. Is that not going to cause some ripples in the U.S. market? Probably. Tom Selleck said, I don't remember how I found this channel. I know it was right after Jordan stopped streaming. It was probably me spamming it in Jordan's Discord. Which, I will say, Jordan's Discord was like where I met most of my crypto friends. So, X221 had a double coiler. Mohar said, love the name. Oh, Tom Selleck. That's not a name, that's who he is. Okay. The U.S. dollar index officially falls to its lowest level since 2022. Own assets or be left behind. It is also worth noting, which I think I pointed out already, since there's more people here. This yellow trend line on the DXY is a 15-year-old trend line. Goes all the way back to April 2011. So falling below that trend for the first time in 15 years is a huge deal. Look at this. You got support, 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 broke. Are we going to continue to trend down? And if we do, what's the market going to be like? Because from 2002 to 2008, we trended down. I'm just saying. Okay, is that what we're in for? Like a post, I don't know, is that a post.com bubble? Pre-financial crisis drop? I have no idea. I smell food, man. I think my fiance brought food home. I can smell it, Mr. Krabs. Okay, let's get back to silver. Yep, silver and gold. Calming down a little bit. We'll see if they continue to the upside. I do believe that the Asian market is trading now. United Health stock extends its decline to minus 20% on the day, erasing $65 billion of its market cap. The stock is now on track for its worst day since April 2025. Or April 17th, I'm sorry. April 17th, 2025. Breaking, the price of power in New York City surges 31% amid ongoing Arctic blast. The electricity provider PJM, which serves 67 million people, issued a grid emergency and warned demand may exceed record levels. Why does the price change? I never understood that. Why does it cost them more to supply me with electricity? It's kind of goofy. U.S. tech workers are automating themselves. The technology sector now reflects about 2.3% of total U.S. employment, the lowest since early 2021. This percentage peaked around the ChatGPT launch in November 2022 and has fallen over the last 3 years. Over this period, employment in computing infrastructure, data processing, web hosting, web search, and computer systems design services has shed 91,000 jobs. This reverses a 20-year uptrend in tech employment. Meanwhile, software development job postings on Indeed have dropped 71% since the February 2022 peak. Postings are now minus 33% below pre-pandemic levels. Employment in tech is rapidly declining. Nobody should be surprised. Gold futures surged to a record $5,160 an ounce, now up 18% this month. Not even an intraday decline is able to hold. Is actually up higher now. At the moment, it is $5,242.70, which is unheard of. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here. Tom Selleck's goat said, yeah, I'm goat owned by Tom Selleck. I've got a pretty good life. Zach said, that reminds me of the old Adam Sandler goat bits on his CDs. Dude, I actually had a bunch of stand-up CDs. I had a Jerky Boy CD, which was hilarious. Gotta love good old-fashioned prank phone calls. Can't go wrong. It's gotta be good, though. Gotta be good. The U.S. dollar tumbles to a fresh 4-year low after President Trump says the U.S. dollar is doing great and he's not concerned about its decline. Why would he be? So this is the input that I was referencing earlier. Most people don't realize what Trump just said. For 12 plus months, the U.S. dollar has been in a sharp decline, following minus 10% in 2025 and its worst year since 2017. Minutes ago, for the first time, President Trump commented on the decline in USD. He said the value of the dollar is great. This immediately sent the U.S. dollar another 1% lower to its lowest level since February 2022. Why? It's a clear signal that Trump is willing to tolerate a weaker dollar to push rates lower and boost U.S. exports, own assets, or be left behind. Why would you leave your money in a money that the government just prints and decreases in value? You got to hedge. Not financial advice, though. President Trump said we have to use tariffs to achieve world peace. Very cool. This thing cracked me up when they brought this out and he was like holding it like that. That was hilarious. U.S. equity markets have never been more dominant. U.S. stocks have seen a record $1.6 trillion in net inflows since 2020. This is 4 times higher than the $400 billion that flowed into international stocks. Over the last 2 years alone, U.S. equity inflows have reached $900 billion, plus 350% above all other regions combined. Meanwhile, private investors outside the U.S. purchased a record $714 billion of U.S. equities over the last 12 months. By comparison, the 2021 peak was $400 billion. Global investors are piling into U.S. equities at an unprecedented rate. Mr. Barber said, JJ, do you ever watch Camel Finance? He's a proponent of cycle theory and fair enough prospect of the market. FOMC tomorrow notes a weekly and daily cycle low. I do not. I don't know that I've ever heard of him either. I'm going to look him up, though. Check him out. Camel Finance. I feel like I've recognized the picture. I'll give him a watch, though, Mr. Roberts. Thank you. Okay. Next, this one, I don't know why anyone would ever be surprised at this one. This one cracks me up. Meta faces a multi-country lawsuit in the US over WhatsApp privacy leaks. Meta calls the case frivolous. Reminder, never store your private keys online. Apparently, WhatsApp can just read your messages. I don't know why anyone is surprised in that. How do you think you can read the messages? It's end-to-end encryption, but both ends are WhatsApp. You know what I mean? Am I crazy for thinking that it's not actually private? I don't know. To use an app thinking that it's like completely private, I think is the silliest thing in the world. You gotta write a letter. I think writing a letter or talking in person to somebody like in the woods are as private as you can get nowadays. That's like the closest you can get. Top Select Scout said, "You button hooked me. I didn't know you were gonna button hook me. Old Sandler CD's the best." Button hooked me. I don't know what that is. Mr. Robert said, "Once the effery of Thursday and Friday are over, I might go long on all." Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see if the government shuts down on Saturday, because if they don't, then I'm going to win a lot of money. I love all of my Kalshi bets are like the worst odds ever. So if I do win, I'm going to be very excited. I'm probably going to be very loud about it. A majority of leading U.S. banks are now active in Bitcoin. This is huge. I totally ruined the 420, but I'm willing to look past that. Just a couple years ago, this was unheard of. So it's pretty cool. It does, however, kind of take away from the idea that I think personally Satoshi was going for. So we need to make sure we don't lose our way. But if we make money, then I'm going to shut up. Until then, though, I'm going to talk about Satoshi's vision. Ethereum dominates tokenization, hosting 61.2% of all tokenized assets with nearly 200 billion settled. What a surprise. I actually am not surprised at all. I think Ethereum is going to be the institutional blockchain. I think Solana is going to be the retail blockchain. That's just the way that things have played out. Gen Z and millennials are pushing prediction markets into the mainstream. I honestly thought they were mainstream already, but that's pretty cool. Awareness of prediction markets skews younger, while sports betting skews older. Interesting. Yeah, prediction markets are just more fun because you can literally bet on everything. It's like the dumbest thing in the world. I was cracking up last night. I was getting ready for bed, and I was looking at Kalshi, and I asked my fiance, I was like, "What do you think Powell's going to say during his speech tomorrow?" She was like, "What?" I was like, "Do you think he'll say the word fiscal?" It was really funny. I don't think that anybody else thought it was, like, my fiance and my daughter were just looking at me like, "What are you talking about?" And I thought it was the funniest thing. Bullish. Qi Young Zhu argues that Bitcoin, like gold and silver, is a risk-off asset, and the market still sees it as risk-on. It's undervalued. Very cool. We like that. Stablecoin saw a $2.24 billion outflow in 10 days, with funds moving into gold and silver, both at new all-time highs, according to Sentiment. Interesting. Tom Self-Scout said, "Or never trust Zuck." Honestly, my favorite thing was him flip-flopping when the Biden administration got out and then the Trump administration took over. Suddenly he was like, "They made us censor people." Like, he went from being in a suit to his hair was all disheveled, and he's like, "Oh man, they were making us censor people, man. That was crazy, man." It was really funny. Chewy said, "Bro, where you been?" Why does everyone keep saying that? I think was it Bronson yesterday? He's like, "JJ's back." You guys are gaslighting me. What's going on, Chewy? How's the house, my friend? How you doing? Gold 52.36. Silver 115, and lingering Bitcoin 89.69. Nice. ETH 3,000. Hopefully ETH holds 3K. Solana 127.01. Mr. Robert said, "Chewy, hello, good sir." Chewy said, 10x short right now. Nice. TNT Media said, "China's only pure play silver fund, the UBS SDIC." I'm sorry. Silver Futures Fund, LOF, halted trading on Wednesday, January 28th, 2026, Beijing time, following a massive price surge and high premiums. What? OMG, just now, wow, Google didn't even hit X yet? No way. Chewy said, hey, Mr. Roberts, let's go look. Let's go look. I'm kind of excited. Are we going to watch? Is silver going to explode? Make sure I see it. If it goes crazy, let me know and I'll switch to the chart. We're going to continue the news. Chewy said, how's your portfolio? Me or Mr. Roberts? Don't ask me. I'm not going to acknowledge that question, Chewy. You know the answer. Okay, gold hit new all-time high at 51.50. It's way higher than that now. This one's cool. This is a cool one. Jacob & Co. and Go Mining have launched a limited edition luxury watch that integrates real Bitcoin mining capabilities directly into the wearable. So here's my question. Obviously, it's going to be something akin to a lottery miner. Way smaller scale, which is even more crazy. Are you actually ever going to accumulate even like a penny worth of Bitcoin? Or is it just for like, oh, this mines Bitcoin. Oh, I don't actually make any money from it though because I'm so rich that I don't care. Like I don't understand. It's cool, but it seems awfully gimmicky. If I had the money, I'd totally buy one. You guys know I like a good gimmick. Chewy said everything is exploding except for Bitcoin. Our cope right now, Chewy, or at least my personal cope, is that Bitcoin front ran this. And 2025, Bitcoin was like, come on, guys, we're going to the bull market. And then everyone else was like, what is he doing? And then 2026 hit, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to the bull market. And Bitcoin's at the top, like, oh, my God, where are you guys? You know, just like doing nothing. And altcoins, the entire way up, Bitcoin was just shoving altcoins out of the way, throwing them down the hill. Chewy said I'm 75% out, waiting for 60K. I'm looking for 70. I'm looking for 70. We are definitely in a bear market. That is confirmed at this point. I think when we lost the bull market support band, it was over. But I don't know if it's going to be a 12-month long bear market. Mr. Roberts said I lost a good bit over the last 6 months, but I have protected myself lately. Doing okay, Chewy. How about you? Mr. Roberts also said I'm in a lot of cash too. See, what's cool is the portfolio goes down. So let's say you got cash and you got your crypto and stocks and whatever else, and this goes down and it keeps going down and it goes down, 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 down. Your cash value eventually will be equal to or maybe even more than your Bitcoin value. So then you could make the argument like, I'm 50% in the sidelines, which technically is not false. Your bags are just down so much that your dry powder that you had, which was maybe 10% at the time, is now 50% of your net worth. So it's silver lining. If you're delusional enough, you can forget about the value that your portfolio was at, because technically you didn't lose that money because you never had it. You should have taken profit. I don't know. We should do a like a whole copium stream where we just talk about how well off we are. Chewy said Bitcoin stomping on alts heads, grasping for the top of the pyramid. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. The 21 weekly crossing down to 50 is about to get ugly. I mean, I don't really care at this point. How much worse can it get? What is my 90%? It's going to be down to 91%. Oh my gosh. Okay. According to Anthropic, newer AI models can now autonomously exploit real-world cyber vulnerabilities using standard tools, lowering the barrier for sophisticated attacks. I give it 1 year before there's like whole cybercrime, like, I don't even know what do you even call it, gangs doing like automated cybercrime. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna get weird, man. The world is gonna get so weird. Sentiment data shows Filecoin, Chainlink, and Dfinity leading crypto's AI and big data projects by development activity, followed by Near Protocol, Oasis Protocol, and LivePeer, all of which, except for Chainlink-ish, are doing really, really bad. Ethereum says the ERC 8004 standard is going live on mainnet soon, enabling AI agents to interact across organizations with portable, verifiable reputation. Wow, I don't know what that means, but that's cool. Stock Money Lizards posted, you don't need alt season. Focus on 1 or 2 good altcoins. Some that have users, create revenue, and have decent tokenomics. Nothing more. Even if they just do some bounce to previous bear market highs, it's a 200 to 300% move for many. See, we're getting to the point, what is this, complacency? Is that what it is? Where we're just like, I mean, if we bounce a little bit, then that would be cool. Like, the numbers would go up a little bit. We're reaching that point. We're settling. I think that's crazy. But I'm going to continue to read. I have hope that people are figuring out how the game works. Buy the bottom, sell. Well, not even the top, just sell higher, and you've come much farther than most. Not financial advice. That is technically true, actually. Lunar Entity said Cointelegraph has the worst article writers. Cointelegraph is just kind of horrible, if we're being completely honest. Like, most of the time, they're biased as well. My favorite are the ones where they're just like, Michael Saylor said Bitcoin. And they just like show like a screenshot of a post of Michael Saylor just saying Bitcoin. Those ones are my favorite because somebody gets paid to post that. I don't know. It's funny, man. Matthew Highland posted, the last 2 times the DXY broke below 96, Bitcoin ran from 2K to 20K within 6 months and ran from 10K to 64K within 9 months. The DXY is currently sitting at 96.3. That's actually a radio station in Detroit. So, yeah. It's going to be crazy. Told you guys it's a 15-year-old trend line on the DXY. Right here. April 2011, this goes all the way back to. Lunar Entity said, they wrote an article back in October that stated Bitcoin had found support at 69K. Oh, I promise you, if you just go to Cointelegraph and you search, like every day we'll have a super duper bullish and a super duper bearish article. All they do is they basically bot farm, essentially. Not even bot farm, they like click farm. They post a bullish article for the bullish people. Like if you want bullish bias, you're gonna go find the bullish article, click on it, and be like, oh, well, Cointelegraph said that that we bottomed out and that we're gonna go higher. And then the bearish guy is going to go, well, this Cointelegraph said that we're about to break lower and it's going to 0. That way, they get the clicks from both people, which is hilarious. Mr. Robert said, Chewy, I have maybe 20% of my portfolio left in Bitcoin and related shit that I have left for the prospect of breaching the 200 simple moving average one more time, like it has in the past. If it doesn't, well, so be it. Next, we've got Bloomberg saying younger generations are all going into Bitcoin and not buying gold, which is a hilarious thing to say, considering the fact that Bitcoin is literally, like, down, and gold is at $5,229 for the first time in history. All this tells me is the younger generations don't actually have any money. You know? Like, we bought Bitcoin already. And now everybody else is buying gold because they actually have money to buy gold with. Lunar Entity said, I know that mustache. Okay. That sounds like an incredibly dirty thing to say in the chat. We're not gonna talk about it though. Parabolic posted, altcoins are dead. The narrative is reaching its final hysterical peak. I should have just bought stocks, gold and silver, not crypto. Stop. You're a fool if you think crypto, the most explosive asset class in history, isn't going to eventually catch up. We have now seen both price capitulation and time capitulation for altcoins. Some people can handle a quick crash, but most can't handle 2 years of stagnation for altcoins, while literally every asset class in the meantime has pumped. It's boring, it's frustrating for many, it's soul-crushing. Investors are slowly but surely giving up. They've already given up. There's no investors left. It feels like the asset class that had the most promise is dying. That is the whole point. It's a sophisticated psychological operation. Market makers are playing with your emotions. Haven't you noticed that by now? They want you to capitulate at the exact moment the rotation begins. Don't sell the bottom to the people who suppress it. While the RSI retests to generational lows, smart money is buying. Remember, Others, altcoin market cap is still 60% below its 2021 highs. That's a generational discount. Yet, so few are actually paying attention and are taking this massive opportunity. Well, will you be positioned when the big rotation finally happens? Position now or regret later? I love it. I'm gonna like it actually. That's awesome. Reaccumulation phase. I like the idea that it's some big sophisticated operation when in reality it's probably literally just people not wanting to buy crypto because they got ripped off, and we just have to wait for like the next wave of retail to show up. I think it's a lot simpler than we think it is. Maybe not though. Maybe I'm naive. Mr. Roberts said, "You too, dude. How you been?" Lunar Entity said, "Good to see you, Mr. Roberts." Tom South Scout said, "Deciding between buying $5 of Bitcoin or $5 of gold." Right? Right? Dude, that post is hilarious. Younger generation are all going into Bitcoin and not buying gold. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is down and gold is up, which shows you that the younger generation has $0. Breaking US dollar has now lost more than 10% of its value over the last 12 months. Yay! Bank of Japan. Can you make it less obvious? S&P 500 is on track for its 9th consecutive green month, dividend adjusted. Its longest winning streak since the 2016 to 2018. Very cool. Stock market is on the brink of returning to greed. It did return to greed, by the way. Spoiler alert. We'll see that in a minute. Silver ETF traded 393 million shares today, the largest volume day in history. Indian stocks form a death cross for the first time this year. The last one sent prices plunging more than 10% over the next 10 weeks. I love that 10% is like detrimental to the stock market. United Health took a big fat dumperino. Greed returns to the stock market. Very cool. Congratulations. Incredible timing on your United Health sell order, Congressman. But this was very publicly posted, by the way, so if you wanted to short United Health, you probably could have done it with plenty of time. If you invested $10K into SanDisk on its IPO last year after the spinoff, you'd have over $132,000 today. And then they're sponsored by some ETF, some leverage ETF. Probably stay away from leverage, not financial advice. So if you guys do want to trade leverage in crypto, there's some links in the description. You guys can sign up and we get a little kickback and help support the channel. Although I prefer you guys not lose your money, so be careful. US dollar has now fallen below its 14-year support level. 15-year, by the way. It is 15-year, not 14. It goes back to 2011. 2011 to 2026 is 15 years. Just saying. S&P 500 hits new all-time high. Very cool. Trueflation posted the DXY dollar index dropped further today to its early 2022 levels. A weaker currency doesn't have solely negative implications. Many developed nations keep their currencies weaker to stimulate exports and encourage external capital to invest. At the same time, weaker dollar would make imports more expensive. If the weakness persists beyond short-term speculative volatility, the outcomes for the U.S. economy will be mixed. For example, it could make U.S. manufacturing more competitive and improve the job market if policies favor greater investment in U.S. production. And last but not least, we got Polymarket posting, Tether is now the largest known gold hoarder outside banks and nation states, owning over 140 tons worth $23 billion stored in a nuclear bunker in Switzerland. That's pretty damn crazy. Bitcoin, $89,075.61. We're getting a little bit of red on our bags. Gold looking good, 52.33. Silver also looking good. Up 2.45% at 114.88. Are we going to reject 115 again? Or are we heading for 120 next? Let's see the poll really quick. I asked you guys, what is the Fed's decision tomorrow? We got 9 votes, and 44% of you guys said dovish pause. 22% said hawkish pause. 22% said cut, and 11% said hike. Interesting. All right. Let's see. Portfolio update. We got to build a stock portfolio. I think it's time. We got to, we've diversified our investments. We got to diversify our, tracking as well. Tom Selleck Scout said JJ math, but correct. I don't remember what I was mathing, but yes. I don't remember. what I was mathing at all. 1K to 10K Grok portfolio currently down 543, 54.3%. Best performer Solana down $25 or 25%. Worst performers Aptos down $74 or 74%. Next we got the meme coin portfolio. Oh, damn it. I got logged out. Hang on. I knew I forgot something. And okay, we're back. Meme coin portfolio down. What size was this portfolio? This was a $1,000 portfolio. $635 or 63.5%. Doge is down $95. GigaChad is down $175. Look at that spike. Talk about volatility. That's crazy. Then we got the narrative portfolio, my favorite, and usually actually the most stable. Currently down $221 or 44.2%. Best performer here is Tau, which is only down $19 or 19%. Nope, that's not true. The percent is wrong. It's down $19. No, that is right, actually. $19 or 19%. And worst performer is VeChain. I think VeChain and Fetch have been flip-flopping spaces down here. VeChain is down $63 or 63%. And last but not least, the knife-catching portfolio, which has failed miserably. Currently down $469 nice dollars or 46.9%. Best performer here is Chainlink, down $21 or 21%. Worst performer is Avalanche, down $65 or 65%. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Silver's chilling. Gold is also chilling. Bitcoin is also chilling. Struggling to get above 89.5K. The liquidation heat map. Tom Selleck's GOAT. Lunar Entity said been staring at debt obligations for multiple countries and companies. Mr. Roberts said I'm probably wrong here, but I think both Bitcoin and gold are going to rotate into mid-cap companies. Trump's plan has a good chance to play out if a new Fed is in place, at least for 6 months. Lunar Entity said, you wouldn't be wrong, Mr. Roberts. The Better Business Bureau has a section that talks about the U.S. government matching VC money 1-to-1 on investments in U.S. companies. Tom Selleck said number of years for the DXY. Oh, it's not JJ math. Get out of here. It's like 14 years and 9 months or something like that. Tom Selleck said JJ building a stock portfolio equals bottom. Honestly, I'm hoping that me like talking so much about silver and gold is the bottom. I have silver, like I've already had these assets, but we never really discussed them in depth. Mr. Roberts said, no shit, I need to look at Derringer. Cheers. Can we, I mean, I guess we'd have to do tokenized stocks on here. I think I got an alert. Coinbase just added like silver and copper futures or something like that. Let me see. Oh, I must have closed it. Apparently you can just trade precious metals on Coinbase and Binance now, which might be a precious metals top. My favorite was Binance like announced that, and then gold like dumped. They announced it, and then like this happened or something, and people were like, you gotta be kidding me. Lunar Entity said it's called the Strategic something. I need to look at this. The name again is very Trump. Oh yeah, they are 100% trying to prop everything up as much as possible. That's what the Trump accounts are for as well, because everyone that has a kid now, any child born just injects $1,000 into the market, and you know they're probably just going to print that money. It's not coming from our taxes or anything like that. 89,147. Let's go take a look at seasonals because I like to look at that. I think it's an interesting chart. Seasonals. Bam. Okay. So we go back to 2021, which is the light yellow versus the dark orange. 59.79%. So 2021. I guess if we're going for a 2021 style run for Bitcoin, then it would have to start climbing soon. Same with 2024. See, yeah, 2021 and 2024 being so similar on seasonals, I guess 2023 is very similar too. 2025 is the anomaly. So I don't know. Bitcoin definitely had a bull market. Oh, Lunar Entity said BBB equals Big Beautiful Bill. My bad. My bad. But yes, the public sector matching private sector investments into U.S. companies would set a strong precedent for tailwinds following the debt rolling situation. Philly said, "Hey y'all, I can't believe silver is at 115. We can. Actually, it is pretty crazy. How do I close this? I'm just stuck in this for forever now. I actually can't leave. Am I crazy? Hello? Oh, okay. I didn't see that. My bad. My bad. I took a little tiny piece of edible earlier, guys. Give me a break. Gold up 1.18%. Silver 2.76. Yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Let's see what copper looks like. If you guys haven't already, join the Discord. Links in the description. It's completely free. Ton of fun. Highly recommend. Is this the right one? XAUT, yeah. Yep. $6.01 per pound, I think. Right? Mr. Rumber said, "Hey Phil, Lunar Entity said, to be fair, the metals weren't moving up during that strong inflationary period we had in 21-22. You might say this is a delayed rally." That too. That too. What did I? Somebody pointed out that silver and gold have been kind of building for 30, 40, 50 years since like the 70s or something like that. So they are overdue. And we talked about that, you know, we joked about it. But it is true. If we look at silver on the monthly, you can see this thing, you know, 2011 it had a nice peak. Interesting. This correlates very heavily with the DXY. 2011 had a nice peak, and then it bottomed out. Had a little baby run in 2020 during the pandemic, and then, gosh, this is just straight up, dude. So we drew a trend line that kind of showed some semblance of resistance at $100-ish, and we blasted right through that. Saeed's target. So my crazy guess for the next top, I guess, is 145. Next top being probably like 12 hours of retracing before the next before the next high. This is actually crazy to witness. $52 peak in the 70s. This is is it the Hunt Brothers? Last match silver was at 33 last March. Yeah. I remember talking about it. I remember talking about, because I had sold some silver in the like 30s, I think, like right here. Maybe it was right here. No, I wasn't streaming back here. So yeah, it had to have been right here. I sold some silver, and I remember talking about it, and then it just kept going up. TNT said, go to 1876-ish. Can I go back that far? 70, 60, 50, da, 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 da. This goes back to 1909? Nope. 1900? Oh, no, it is in the 1800s. What? 1876. All right, let's see. Let me get a vertical line. 1876. 75. There's 75 right there. Let me make it thinner. So 1875, silver was... How do they have this data at all? This is actually crazy. Approximately $1.50? Wow. What's going on, Kwame? Mr. Roberts said, Derringer, did you see Rich Tech Robotics today? TNT said there's a 180-year cup and handle on silver, LOL. Oh, this thing? This monstrosity? Wait. Oh my gosh. Dang, imagine 1980s. Is that what that is? 7980s. Yeah, that's that trade. This is crazy, man. What a crazy chart. Wow. All right. We'll go back to the daily. Get get a handle on things. Beautiful. Yeah, dude, that's straight. There's really, like, there's no nice way to put it. That is a vertical move right there. TNT, yep. Billy said March 2025, silver was $33. Lunar Entity said I'm horrible with acronyms. RR, Rich Tech Robotics. Strong weekly move is underway. Oh, on Rich Tech, they had a collaboration with Microsoft. Let me actually find that. Let me pull it up. Rich Tech Robotics. Where is it? Huge. No, that's TA. I'm not really interested. Right here. This is the thing that I saw on X. Rich Tech Robotics just announced they're collaborating with Microsoft through the Microsoft AI Co-Innovation Labs to develop and deploy agentic AI capabilities in real-world robotic systems. This is huge validation for the company and directly addresses the criticism that they're just importing robots from China and slapping their label on them. The Microsoft collaboration is focused on enhancing Rich Tech's Atom robot with adaptive intelligence powered by Azure AI, which, by the way, never hear anybody talking about this, but it's cool. They got funding, you know. Maybe they can make it better. We never heard about Google's AI until like a week ago. Now it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. We're talking vision, voice, and autonomous reasoning in physical environments. This means that these robots are going beyond basic task execution and support, more contextual, conversational, and operationally aware interactions in retail and commercial settings. Rich Tech is also actively working with NVIDIA on multiple fronts. They're using NVIDIA's Jetson Thor computing platform to accelerate their newly unveiled Dex humanoid robot. They should change that name. And their Scorpion beverage robot. They should change that name too. I don't want a beverage from a scorpion. Uses the NVIDIA Jetson Orin platform, the NVIDIA DeepStream SDK, plus they've officially joined the NVIDIA Connect program, which unlocks engineering support and next-gen AI capabilities for their Atom robot. These partnerships with two of the biggest names in tech significantly de-risk investment thesis. This shows me that Rich Tech is building legitimate advanced AI-powered robotic solutions with American technology leadership backing them. The company already has over 400 robots deployed across the U.S. in places like Golden Corral, Hilton, Walmart Supercenters, and the Vegas Golden Knights T-Mobile Arena. I think this Microsoft announcement could be the catalyst that transforms Rich Tech from a speculative robotics play into a credible AI automation company with world-class technology partners. This changes everything for me. More to come. Very cool. Congratulations, Mr. Roberts and Giovanni, on this insane move. Daily chart, you're looking at a 44.62%. That is a god candle in the world of stock market. So that's pretty cool. Now, my recent play, which, by the way, I've been complaining about the feed on X. It has been trash. But there have been some legitimate gems. People pointing out, like, this company's doing this. This is set to be announced, whatever. Stuff that I would not normally see. So I'm thankful for that. And the one that I saw recently was OPTT. Ocean Power Technologies, and I bought this because they have a partnership or a collaboration with Anduril. If you guys don't know Anduril, the guy that created the Oculus Rift, which was eventually purchased by Meta and became the Meta Quest, I don't remember his name, but he started a private defense company essentially, and they make like this crazy high-tech stuff for the military. And they got a partnership, OPTT got a partnership with Anduril, I believe, to deploy something for the Navy, some kind of hardware for the Navy, like underwater scooter or something like that. So that was a win. If you guys, like I said, if you guys haven't already, joined the Discord. The stock channel in the Discord is great. It's definitely more profitable than the crypto portion, but eventually, the idea is for us all to make money, no matter what we're invested in. Okay. Lunar Entity said, RR proves people sleeping on Microsoft will miss the bigger picture. Mr. Roberts said I had a buy zone just under where it got, and it did not get in. I still may. I don't want to chase, though. Yeah, that's fair. As soon as it happened, I was like, man, I wish I had some of this. but I didn't buy any either, because chasing green candles is how you get wrecked. The robotics narrative is a slow burner in my opinion, but it's absolutely a narrative you want to be early to. CapEx cycle should end next year. Some companies have a lot of debt rolling mid-year for 2026. Lunar Entity said, I noticed a lot of companies targeting 2030 could suggest a secular bear market after the current CapEx cycle ends, which would make sense. There's a game, in case you guys are not familiar, called, is it Detroit Become Human? I think it's called Detroit Become Human. Great game. It is based on like AI and robotics, and I think I'm going to play it on the channel because it's very topical today. Great game. It's a newer game. It's only, when did it come out actually? Let me see. Maybe it's 10 years old now. It came out in 2018, so it's 8 years old. It's Quantic Dream, so it's choice-based, but it's a really cool game. We're definitely going to play it on the channel because, like I said, it is very topical. Tom Selk said, Discord, I tossed a post I really liked from Amit on Twitter. All right, I'll check it out. Let's see. Yes, this is, let's read this. This is from Tom Selk. Lunar Entity said it's a great game to pick, JJ. It is a good game. Mr. Roberts said, agreed, Lunar. I'm very cautious for a dip. 8 years old and still good. Dude, the AAA games are garbage now. Like, the older games are so good. I have such a backed up library in Steam. Like, I never really understood the memes until now. I have so many games. Amit is investing. I'll give this guy a follow. Posted, Trump is okay with a weak dollar. So part of the move in precious metals is likely been a rotation or diversification by central banks / funds out of the USD. The DXY, or dollar index, hit its lowest level this year at 95.8. For context, this was 109. Before Trump came into office, it's now down 11% over the past year. Why does this matter? When the dollar weakens, U.S. goods become cheaper for foreign buyers. That means more exports, more demand, more jobs, which helps big exporters, manufacturers, and multinationals. This is exactly what Trump wants to decrease the trade deficit. When the dollar falls, it takes more dollars to buy the same ounce of a commodity, increasing the value of a hard asset. Investors usually run to gold and silver as a store of value when fiat weakens, and boy is fiat weakening. Bullish gold and silver. However, this is not the best for international investors. If you were in Europe, you had been feeling the pain of a weakening dollar. You buy a US stock at $100, Euro USD, $1, that's 100 euros. Stock stays at $100, USD weakens, Euro USD equals 110. Your $100 is now worth 91 euros. Interesting. Ultimately, Trump never wanted a strong dollar. He was clear last year that he is okay with it weakening, and given the run into gold and silver, we may be seeing global investors finally decide to sell off USD. I don't think he lets it get much lower than 90, but if we continue to see this rotation, it feels like there's a chance that it can get below there. The takeaway is that cash can literally become trash, although I do not think it is very valuable to have cash as a position. If the USD keeps weakening and owning hard assets / companies that can produce real earnings is the solution, which means the $7.5 trillion on the sidelines in money markets, which have seen $100 billion of outflows over the past 2 weeks, may start to rotate into metals, crypto, and stocks, especially if rates come down. Ooh. Now, we are also fully, this is a great post actually, thank you Tom Selsko for sharing. We are fully anticipating rate cuts in May when Powell steps down and we get a new Fed chair, Trump appointed, but we'll have to see. We did ask Grok for like an in-depth analysis on that. Grok doesn't seem to think so, but who knows? Grok also helped us build a portfolio, which is one of the worst performing portfolios that we have at the moment. So take that with a grain of salt. Kwame said 8 years still good. Mr. Roberts said, all right, I got to bounce, fellas. Peace and good fortune. Cheers. Take it easy, Mr. Roberts. Appreciate you for stopping by. Cheers to you as well. Philly said, I hope I didn't miss a lot of Rich Tech Robotics talk. Does their collaboration with Microsoft help with the weeks and weeks of choppiness? Mr. Barber's night, buddy. Not much talk on it, to be honest. Help with the choppiness of the price? I mean, if it continues to go up, then absolutely. But that is a incredibly overbought candle at the moment. Now, stocks trade completely differently from crypto, and I feel like I'm good at stocks, but Rich Tech I'm not entirely familiar with. It did break out of 2 wedges so far, and this one, they're both very sloppy wedges. Like, at the end of the day, no matter what, this wedge, if it wasn't a wedge, is at least a upper trend line, where we had resistance and attempted support, and then a breakback below, double top resistance again, another resistance, and then we finally broke above it. So no matter what, this orange trend line is relevant, and we are well above that. $5 is psychological. We're sitting above 5.5. If we do get a pullback, I would like to see $5 hold, because that is a very, very psychological level. So we want to see that hold if we do get a pullback, and if we lose that, then 450. But if we do, like, if it pumps this much and it pulls back that far, at least in the near term, I guess if it pulls back that far over a longer period of time, I'd be okay with that. Like if it does one of these and then it goes up further, that's, you know, that's the patience game. You got to wait till mid-February, who knows. But you never want it to go straight up. Straight up, unless it's gold and silver, I guess. If it's been consolidating for like 50 years, then straight up is totally fine. But right now, it's got nice foundation built up for it. There's really no like negative aspects of the patterns or anything like that. I don't see any red flags. Calvin said, don't comment often, but not sure how much longer precious metals can keep climbing. Bubble forming? Oh, it very much could be a bubble. But again, allegedly they've been getting suppressed, and if there really is a like a structural deficit to where we need this much silver every single year, and we only produce this much, and we only recycle this much, then eventually, you know, there's going to be a very, very large chunk that we can't fulfill. And if our reserves are like this big, then, you know, we got a little while. But once you run out of your reserves, if your reserves are depleted and you still need to fulfill this much to keep up with demand, and there's no substitutes found, the price is going to increase substantially. I'm actually surprised that they let it get this high this fast at all. With how much it's needed in tech, if it continues to stay this high, the prices of all of our shit's going to get way out of control. We've already seen it with AI and memory, like solid state memory and RAM has already become overpriced. Now, when the price of silver hits production for stuff like that, it's going to increase even more. So it's definitely a conundrum for not only tech but investors. Investors want it to go up. Tech doesn't. We as like retail don't want to pay more for our phones and laptops and computers and stuff, but we also want to make money on our trades. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It's interesting for sure. Tom Selleck Scout, thank you for commenting, Calvin, by the way. Feel free to ask questions, request charts, or anything like that. Excellent question. Tom Selleck Scout said, oh, for sure, bubble forming, but the market can go crazy rational before it pops. Exactly. It is definitely, like, straight up right now. Like, you have to zoom, you have to, like, stretch the chart in order for it to not just look like a straight line. Gold to 5,800, silver to 140, and that might be it or not. You know what's crazy? 5,800 is my top for gold, and 145 is my top for silver. So you got good taste, Tom Selleck Scout. Lunar Entity said UiPath was promising before the previous CEO stepped down. A nice minus 35% a month. Ooh. Ooh, Ubiquity. I know them. Would you guys believe me if I told you I went to school for information technology? I just got done telling you yesterday that my college doesn't exist anymore and the credits don't transfer. I went to school at apparently like a snake oil academy. Not that I was taught snake oil like things, but I was the school itself was the snake oil. Does that make sense? I did actually learn stuff, but it was irritating. The reason why I dropped out is because I was paying what $700 per class per semester, some ridiculous amount of money. For my professor was amazing. He was really cool, and then he retired or he like left or something. And then we got this super duper old guy who literally just like he would read like a slideshow that probably came with the book, came with the material for the school. And then he would just assign, and I'm like, why am I paying this man $700 just to read me a book? It bugged me. It was ridiculous. So I dropped out. Anyways, Ubiquiti, they make tech hardware. That is a pretty hefty drop, ain't it? Let's ask, I want to ask Grok. Why? I know you said that the CEO stepped down. Why did Ubiquiti stock drop so much? When did it drop? It dropped in November. And if it is just because of the CEO, then that might be a good dip worth buying. Lunar Entity, yep, we read that. It's Kwame said $5,000 iPhones incoming. You know what's hilarious? I've never actually bought an iPhone. I'm an Apple maxi. I actually have a MacBook where I keep all my crypto. Like, I do all my crypto stuff on my MacBook because it's secure. And it's like my separate thing. And I do credit Apple with, you know, they make good products. They make excellent products. I have Apple TV. I love it. Oh, UiPath is a different company. Great. Oh, I didn't read the path part. Oh my gosh. Well, Ubiquiti had a drop. UiPath. What even is that? This? Oh, I found it. Okay. What in the world is this? $5,000 iPhones incoming. Anyways, I was gonna say, I always thought the iPhones were way overpriced. And I'm not a big phone guy myself. I like to buy my phones used on eBay. Maybe refurbished. 25%. Okay. UiPath. The ticker is just Path. Okay. I did figure that out. Since we're on the topic, let's learn about Ubiquiti really quick. Stock price decline. The most pronounced drop occurred November 7th when shares 19% from the previous close. This sell-off was triggered by the company's fiscal first quarter earnings report released that day, although Ubiquiti beat analyst expectations with adjusted earnings of $3.46 per share and revenue of $733.8 million, up 33% year over year, driven by 41% growth in North America. Investors focused on the 3% sequential quarter over quarter revenue decline. Gross profit margin improved to 46%, up nearly 4 points. Operating margin and net profit rose 68% year over year. Compounding this issue was Ubiquiti's elevated valuation, trading at 48 times trailing earnings, over 64 times trailing free cash flow, which investors viewed as overly expensive given the anticipated deceleration. The stock continued to slide following weeks, reaching monthly low of 515. Okay, overall November correction was part of a broader 26% drop. Okay. Despite this, stock rallied 67% for the full year of 2025, indicating November dip was temporary setback amid longer-term gains. When did that happen? Okay, anyways. What is UiPath? It's another robotics automation play. Okay, let's see. Can you tell me about the UI Path stock company? All right, let's see if Grok knows what UiPath is. Robotics process automation, offering AI powered. Okay. Accessible via financial APIs like Polygon. Really? Fetch path ticker details. Okay. Fetching path details via Polygon. Is that a different Polygon? Is that the stupid, the publisher Polygon? $14.36. Let's see what the market cap is. Path market cap is 7.68 billion. Okay. Quarterly financials. It's up 15.92% year over year for Q3 2026. Okay. Calvin said top select scope. Thank you, and copy that. Okay. UiPath, New York Stock Exchange. Path is a software company specializing in robotic process automation and AI-powered automation solutions, founded in 2005 in Bucharest, Romania, by a small team operating out of an apartment. The company has expanded into a global enterprise with operations in over 100 countries. Its mission focuses on accelerating human achievement by integrating AI agents, robots, people, and models to transform industries and enhance productivity. UiPath employs around 3,868 people and is headquartered in New York City. The core offering is the UiPath platform, an end-to-end system for agentic automation and orchestration. It leverages technologies like RPA, APIs, computer vision, and artificial intelligence to automate repetitive tasks across various sectors. Okay, so like the robots in factories, such as claims processing, oh, maybe not, employee onboarding, invoice management, loan applications, and customer service. The platform is delivered, so it's nothing like the robots in factories, through options like Automation Cloud for scalable, secure cloud-based automation, or Automation Suite for self-hosted deployments, emphasizing compliance and performance. UiPath serves more than 10,800 customers worldwide as of mid-2023 and supports over 3 million developers using AI in their workflows. The company emphasizes inclusive automation, ethical practices, environmental sustainability, aligning with the Paris Agreement, and social impact through initiatives like Pledge 1%. UiPath has earned numerous industry recognitions, including being named a 7-time leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for Robotic Process Automation, a leader in Forrester and IDC reports on automation platforms, one of Time's best inventions of 2025, and G2 grid leader in categories like AI, agent builders, and business automation platforms. It also boasts a 93% customer recommendation rate from Gartner Peer Insights. On the stock side, blah, blah, blah. Recent stock performance has been mixed, shares declining about 11.7% over the past month, amid broader market gains. This includes a 3.9% drop on January 27th following insider share sales. Okay. Analysts project earnings per share of 25 cents for the upcoming quarter, a 3.85% decrease year over year. Free cash flow is expected to grow to $369 million in 2026, $420 million in 2027, and $471 million in 2028. Options trading shows subdued but mixed sentiment. Over 13 analysts rate Path as a hold, with a 2026 price target of $15.62. Okay, $15.62 is a decent gain. I can average out. Interesting. Just recently closed the lowered guidance gap from last year and got back above its weekly point of control. Averages also smoothing out as forward guidance improved. It definitely seems like it's at a good point to buy. Like you can see, there's a very, very gentle prevailing uptrend. Definitely room for improvement. I guess Grok explained that before me. Okay. I like it. Path. Gold up 1.02%, 52.33. Man, that's crazy. I wonder if this is going to be higher tomorrow. 115 on silver. Well, tomorrow is rate cut day for the Fed, so that's the big event that we're kind of waiting for. Probably going to be nothing burger price action until then, but time will tell. Hopefully they cut rates. That'd be cool, because then I will win a Kalshi bet. If you guys are interested at all, again, I still have to fix this, but there's a link in the description for Kalshi referral. We both actually get $25 when you sign up with that link and trade $25. The $25 is non-withdrawable site credit, and it is gambling, so treat it as such. And also, if you guys are not, please consider subscribing. CoinMarketCap Fear and Greed Index is at 37, which is fear. Yesterday was 35. Okay, let's get back to the main scene. Let's go check the traditional Fear and Greed Index. We're at 29, which is also fear. It's interesting to see this climb up, even though the price is not doing anything different. We are at 88,888. It's been down here for such a long time. It's very, very interesting to watch all of this play out. Kwame said, the cut is coming. We need a surprise. That would be so cool. That would be so... I would make like $600 if we got a cut. Moon Entity said pausing would be reminiscent of the late 90s. Everything's pointing to a pause, so I wouldn't be surprised if they pause it. I would be surprised if they cut, and I would be very happy. But anyways, guys, this is where I'm going to leave you. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Don't forget to smash the like button. As always, when the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Tuesday and good night.